Alright, so this is going to be our first topic that I'm going to go over. It's something new that I've started doing, and this is going to be a service that I'm going to offer to you guys first. I've purchased this ultrasonic cleaner off Amazon. It was a little over $200, and it's a 30 quart, so it's got a lot of room in there. I can possibly fit up to a 20-inch barrel in there diagonally, which I'll show you as soon as I remove the cover here. So far I've cleaned about 5 firearms in there, and the results have been astounding. It's pretty neat how clean it gets. This is something that I would recommend maybe, like once a year, when you get it really kind of dirty, to the point where, even with general cleaning it's still not perfect. This isn't something that I would recommend doing all the time, just because of it strips everything. So any lubrication that's in there, what have you, even with these phosphorus finishes, like on the ARs, it does it takes all the oils out of it, so you have to put a lot back into it once it's done. But when it's done cleaning, the items come out really sharp. And I'm going to go over more of that the next time I pull one apart and clean it. But I will say that, as of right now, it's pretty neat what can be done, and the level of cleaning is outstanding. What I'm going to show you here is the tank itself. I'm going to try to get a good view here for you and not try to obstruct it too much. This particular unit has a heater built in, so it keeps the water degreaser combination at a good temperature. It's in Celsius, so don't be fooled by the 50 degrees. What you can see there is it does say 50-50, which I'll zoom in here for you so you can see. That is your temperature setting and what the actual temperature is. So your temperature setting is to the left of the first 50. Second 50 is actually the temperature that it's sitting at. The second set of numbers over to the right is your actual time, and so you can adjust how much time you want based on what level of cleaning you want to do. You set your time, got your temperature where you want it, and then you're ready to rock and roll. I keep this foam pad on top because it does make a little bit of noise with the ultrasonic. Oops. As you can see, it's nice and warm. I got plenty of water coming out of there as soon as I take the lid off. What I did do is I purchased some gun cleaning degreaser off Amazon, and I'll show you that product here. It's the ultrasonic cleaning solution. It is very concentrated. It is made specifically for doing firearms, so it's safe for your finishes. This degreaser I think was around $40. If you mix it the way they tell you to, it's going to be pretty strong. I didn't put a lot in there. I put maybe a quarter of the bottle with the amount of water I have in there. I also added some oil eater in there as well, because I get really good results with that, but you got to be careful with the oil eater because it can attack finishes. So I have it very diluted. It's only a small amount in there, but it's just to help get those little nooks and crannies clean. One thing I will say with carbon buildup is it still takes a little bit of scrubbing, once you've put it through the ultrasonic process. And but once you loosen all that up again after you go through the first time and you scrape a lot of it, or brush, what have you, what it'll end up doing is it will really come out of there really nicely. And then of course at the end it's a lot of hitting all the points and relubricating everything. What I did, I read some reviews on this, and it has a stainless steel basket in here, which I'll show you. The basket itself, it's got rubber feet on it, which I'm going to get some more vacuum caps to put over the feet that are already on there to give it a better rubber footing, because one of the complaints that some people had was that because the stainless steel liner is kind of thin, that they did have an issue where it kind of poked through, apparently, which wouldn't be good because you don't want the water getting into the electronics. So I'm going to address that by making bigger rubber feet on there. What I did was I bought this plastic container at Menards, drilled my holes in there, and what that's for is to keep the metal parts of the firearm from touching the metal basket, because this process, it's a lot of vibration, and I didn't want to scratch up the finishes. So what I did was I took and I put it in here, and I put this inside of the basket that comes with the unit. And I'll show you that basket here in just a sec. I'll move this out of the way. And this is the basket that comes with the unit itself. It's got some fairly large openings, so if you're going to put small parts in there, you could lose them fairly easily. I'm still looking for the perfect setup as far as, something else to put in there to hold the small parts. It comes with a little piece I'll show you here in just a second. But I wanted to show you these rubber feet. As you can see, they're okay. But like I said, if I put some rubber valve caps on there, I think that'll be the ticket. We'll have to see how the rubber holds up. I may have to do some other, maybe some plastic. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. But these seem to be pretty good. They're not poking down directly onto the tub itself. So they're off at a 90-degree angle. So it's not as bad as what I anticipated. So, but overall, this is a pretty decent setup as well. Oops. And as you can see, it's a nice deep container. I actually wanted to buy the one that's made for cleaning firearms because it's the same 30 liters, but it's longer this way and narrower, from front to back, so you could actually fit a fully assembled upper in there. But unfortunately, that price tag shoots up through the roof. It's a very expensive unit. I couldn't find one for less than $1,000, so I wasn't ready to make that jump just yet, because with this, diagonally from one side to the other, you can fit almost a 20-inch barrel in there. So unfortunately, you'd still have to take apart your upper to clean it, but again, it's not a big deal. It's just time. So for these services, for you guys that are part of the core group, my friends and family, your fees are going to be significantly cheaper than everybody else to start off. For a pistol, I'm going to charge, I think for you guys, $30 to do an ultrasonic cleaning, and then for a rifle, depending on how deep you want to go, if you want to do the whole rifle, that's going to be about $50. And then from there, what I'll end up doing is I will adjust prices accordingly for people that are, not part of the core group. So I'm going to save you guys some money as far as that goes. So if you guys are interested in having this done, please get a hold of me, and we'll make arrangements for you to drop off your stuff. And if you want to be here for the process, that's fine too. That'll just be you'll have to schedule it, whatever. Right now, I'm available all day, so if any of you guys are off or what have you, you come over during the daytime and we can knock it out. Obviously, with the holiday around the corner, night times are going to be a no-fly zone because the wife's working crazy hours, so I don't want to interrupt her and take away from our time, a little bit of time we're going to have together over the next couple weeks. So, but like I was saying, this is exactly what I want to start doing. And you guys are more than certainly welcome to come over and join me. So I just wanted to give you guys a look at how that all works. I'll show you here in just a second. I'm going to pop this in there, and I'll throw something in just to show you how it cleans. so far I've had no problems with the finish other than, like I said, the phosphate type finishes. Like I said, it just strips all the oil out, so it has to, you know, you have to lubricate the whole finish on the outside once you're done. And that was on a AR upper that I put in there. Came out really nice, all in all. Like I said, it's just at first when you see it, you're kind of like, oh boy. But I've been down this road before, so it's not a big deal. Kind of knew what to expect going in. Let me see if I can find. Oh, I wanted to show you this. This is the little mesh basket that they give you for small parts. And it works well, so I put a lot of like the little pins and stuff in there to keep it all separate and keep it from floating away, having to dig through the bottom of the tank. And again, which would not be a big deal because everything is metal, so it's fairly easy to get out of there with a magnet or by hand, but it is kind of warm. So just sticking your hand straight in there, plus it's going to strip all the oil out of your hand. So it's got a little hook on there on this end that you can hook onto the, I hook it onto the plastic bucket itself, and what that does is it just keeps it from going all the way to the bottom. But even if it does go to the bottom of the plastic bucket, as you can see, I can just pull that out and retrieve it fairly easy. It would work the same way with the metal basket, so either way it's not a big deal. You can get to it fairly easy. Let me see if I can find something here real quick that will work to clean, and I'll show you the process. Alright, so I was looking through, and what I could find was I could just find my son's whole carrier group. I don't think we cleaned it after last time I went and shot. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it apart here. Unfortunately, it's going to be kind of hard to see, the carbon buildup. You can kind of see it here around the tip. There's already some starting to fall off. You want to make sure you get down inside here really well. I highly recommend getting one of these scraper tools. It allows you to get down in there and really clean that area that always gets, carboned up really well. As you can see right there. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but there's a lot of carbon that builds up in there. I think he's only got maybe 100 rounds through this rifle so far, so not a whole great deal, but it's good to get that carbon out of there, because what will happen is over time it'll just build up worse and worse. The nice thing about this tool is it allows you to clean every part of your bolt carrier group. It allows you to hit the bolt here and scrape the carbon from there. As you can see, it's got different areas that allow you to get in there nice and easy. It'll help you scrape that carbon ahead of time. You can, it's got different ways of getting most of it out of there. You just have to kind of play with it a little bit, see what works best for you. But right there, I've gotten rid of most of the carbon that was already on there. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this stuff in there so that it doesn't go flying away on me. It opens up like clamshell like that. So I'm going to put my small parts in there. Hope you guys can see this okay. And this one's kind of hard to get closed. It's got a little detent that has to line up to get the clamshell to close. There we go. Alright, then you just slide the lock and your parts are in there. We're going to take the rest of this and we're going to place it in here. Like I told you before, you just hook it onto that plastic basket, which sometimes easier said than done, being one-handed really. And again, if it falls in there, I'm not that worried about it. I've got, the ability to take care of that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to show you the process. I'm going to zoom in here for you so you can kind of see how it works. Matter of fact, I'll get get closer. That way you guys can really see how it works. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and start it. We'll start our timer. We'll do 15 minutes. As you can hear, it's got a little bit of a sound to it. Sometimes you'll see, depending on how much oils are in there, you'll see the oil start to come off, like a cloudy type of appearance. Not to be too worried about it. It'll be okay. It's like I said, it's just the oils coming off, mixing with the degreaser. One of the things that is highly recommended is, I think I'm going to set it up this way. I'm going to take a 5-gallon bucket, have a mixture of this in there to do my initial soak on a lot of the parts, and then from there, once it loosens everything up, I can kind of also scrub it, get a lot of the stuff to fall off before I put it into the tank, because if you do this and you don't clean your stuff off really well first, what will end up happening is you'll have a lot of that sediment gets in there, and then there is a drain on the other side. This is the hose for it. I'm going to make a longer hose so that I can get over to the drain. But what I want to do is have this so that it's fairly clean when it gets in the ultrasonic, because you don't want to have to empty this out and refill it all the time, because it's kind of a pain. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit, and then I'll turn this back on once it's done doing its thing, and we'll show you the results. Alright, so now we're going to take the bulk carrier group out of the tank. And you got to remember, when you take this stuff out, you got to make sure you dry it really good, because you really don't want to be putting wet parts back in with oil, for obvious reasons. So what we're going to do, I'm going to grab my trusty rag over here, put the cover back on the tank and everything. And I forgot to put the lid back on, so it's down temperature a little bit. Turn that heater back on. So now what we have is a nice clean bulk carrier group. It doesn't do well for, brass or copper deposits or anything like that. It'll take some of it off, but it's not going to be, well, I lied. It took all of it off. So before, that was pretty covered. I don't know if you saw it. I'm sorry, I should have showed a better picture of it, but now it's actually took the brass and copper that was on there from loading the rounds off of there. So what you end up with is a nice clean bulk carrier group. As you can see, it's really dull, and that's because it has stripped out all the oils. And all your parts are going to have that dull finish to them until you go back and recoat with a light coat of oil. You don't have to get carried away, just a nice light coat will do the trick. As you can see, everything looks brand spanking new. And this is what I like about the ultrasonic cleaning, is it saves you a lot of time scrubbing, for one. For two, it really gets things clean with very minimal effort. So, if you're like me, I do like cleaning, but I can be doing other things during that time. And last thing I want to be doing is scrubbing for a few hours, just because you got to get all that carbon and stuff off of there and out of the little areas, especially in like 22s, where you're going to have you know, a lot of little pieces floating around in there. Almost appears to be like small pieces of paper and whatnot. 22 is really, really dirty. So what I like to do is I like to take a Q-tip, run it around inside here. You can see it just pulls the carbon right out with no effort at all whatsoever. And that's just what's left over from me scraping, and then of course running it through the ultrasonic cleaner. But it just pops right out. Now I would show you inside there, but you're not going to be able to see a really good view of it. So best thing to do is just take a flashlight, look down inside, and you'll see the difference. But it is spotless in there, which is great. And again, you know, you just want to make sure you get all the water out. The nice part with using the mixture that I have, it dries very quickly. So there's not a whole lot of water retention that's going to happen in here. And once you get to the point here that I'm at, which is ready for oil, hi Axel, you want to grab whatever your favorite flavor is of oil. I'm not going to debate what's best or what to use or what have you. Everybody's got a different opinion, and that's fine. I'm using the CLP, Gray-Free CLP with, it's the synthetic. You want to apply some oil into an oil-soaked rag, like so, and you're just going to take and you're going to apply it to all your parts. And for all those little areas that you can't get to, you know, you can take your Q-tip, put a dab on there, and roll it around inside. And then in the end, what you'll have is everything looking the best it possibly can, being lubricated, and you'll know for next time that your parts are completely clean, like nobody's business. So, finish applying this oil here to all parts. And again, it's just a light coat. Don't get carried away. You know, you don't have to sit here and have the thing dripping wet when you put it in there. Some people do like to run their ARs that way, and that's fine if you do. I'm not going to tell you it's wrong, right, whatever. Do whatever you feel is best for you and how your rifle runs. Again, that's not the debate here. Everybody's got a different opinion. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, import, you know, everybody's got a different opinion. So no point in getting all carried away with what's right, what's wrong. There's several different ways to accomplish the same goal, and far be it for me to be the one to tell you that you're right or wrong, because it might be wrong for your application. So that being said, like I said, grab yourself a Q-tip, clean one, coat it in a light coat of oil, you know, just get it so where it's wet, not falling off, and you're going to roll it around inside. Hit all those areas where you're going to have moving parts, very important. You're going to get some more carbon that's going to pull out, as you can see. So when you have that, you just flip it over, use the clean side. Again, hit all those areas really good. I like to throw a little bit where it slides back and forth. A little extra coating on there. And, oh, almost forgot the other end. Not that this end really does anything as far as needing lubrication, but it helps protect it, so we're going to go ahead and coat it anyway. Alright, so now we're going to reassemble. And once you reassemble, you're going to have that nice, clean, lubricated, easy to put back together. fact, it's moving around so much that it's making it a little difficult to get the cam back in there. See, it rolled all the way around on me. There we go. Now she should go. Just like so. Rotate your cam so that it will accept the firing pin. Just like so. Got the firing pin in, and then you're going to take your, got to add a little dab of oil in there. You're going to take your pin here, which I'm going to hit one more time with a little bit of oil. I know I did it with the rag, but it's a little dry already. Then you're going to insert your cotter pin to retain your firing pin. Sometimes these will go in real easy, sometimes they want to fight you a little bit. That one went in alright. It's in there. Push it in a little further. One thing you want to make sure is it's not protruding, because if it's protruding, what will happen is it will hit the side of your receiver and tear it up, and we don't want that. So, just to be sure, see, I was able to get in there just a tad more, which is exactly what we want. And now that she's all clean, she's ready to go back in the rifle. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Most of you have my number. You can always contact me on the forum and Telegram. Let me know what you guys think. And if you guys want to schedule some firearms to be ultrasonic clean and come out looking nice and brand new, let me know. And we'll get you all set up. Thanks again.